What's up? What's up? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Niner Sickness podcast. I'm your host, Niner Beto, aka Niner Sickness. Welcome to the podcast. We're going to talk about the draft picks, the 2022 49er draft picks. I want to get your thoughts on the players. I put the link in the comments below. If you want to be part of the show, you are welcome to be part of the show. Click on the link below and come on my show and let me know how you feel about yesterday's draft. But before we get started, please wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button for your boy, Niner Sickness. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's see who's here. We got Young Hitter. What's up, Young Hitter? Welcome, sir. Welcome. We got Luis Moreno. Thank you. You're doing the cha-cha-cha. Love it. Good afternoon, Johnny JBX. How you doing, sir? Brandon. How you doing, Brandon? Welcome to the stream, brother. Look fresh. Thank you, sir. Welcome, Facebook user. Unfortunately, I don't know who you are. You got to let me know who you are so that I can identify you or allow Facebook to identify who you are through my eCam software. My feet are wiped, and I'm ready to see who Mr. Irrelevant is going to be. What's up, Christian Carver? How you doing, sir? Smash that like button. I appreciate that, brother. David McNews in the house. How you doing, David? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for wiping your feet. We got Cardcast in the house. What's up, Cardcast? How are you doing today? Good to see you, my young friend. Give me 1 second real quick. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Oh, my allergies are kicking my butt. Let's see here. Let me do it like this. Give me 1 second. All right. Moses. What's up, Moses? ¿Qué te pasa, Beto? Órale, Cubo. What's up, brother? Moses says, what's up, sickness? What's up, everyone? Boy, oh boy, do I have my notes on the last two D-backs. Right on. J.R. Meadows. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Welcome. What's up, Facebook user? Welcome to the show. Listen, I put the link in the description below. If you want to be part of the show, if you want to come on and express your thoughts on the draft picks, who you like, who you don't like. Do you think the Niners should have went different than running back with their second pick in the second round or third round, at 93? Do you like the pick? Let me know your thoughts. You're welcome to come onto the show. All you got to do is click on the link below and follow the instructions. So, first, give me a second. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So, first player is Drake Jackson. Drake Jackson. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. Can you guys see it? Drake Jackson, first pick at 61, round 2. What are your thoughts about that? My allergies. All right. We got Moses ready to talk about the D-backs. We got 2 of them. Let me assign them real quick. And let's get this man on camera. Hold on, Moses. Give me 1 second. How you doing, Moses? Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Sickness? I want to jump on here really quick before I start my workout, but I wanted to give my opinions about the last 2 DBs that the Niners got.
Yeah, let me know what's your thoughts on them.
Okay, I think it's Tariq Fields, I want to say.
Yes.
Okay, I noticed that he likes to play a lot of off coverage. I noticed that. And I also noticed, too, is that one of the positives that I like is that he comes out to make sure tackles. I
Okay.
love that he does that. He attacks the screens pretty well. He can cover pretty well. My only concern is when I watched us, I want to say against Michigan because I watched him play before. My concern is him playing man to man. His footwork's in the right position, but I've noticed that he likes to hold and grab once he gets beat. Um, but that's a fixable technique that could be fixed. But that was one of the concerns I had. And Womack, I could see him like another Buda Baker somewhat. I see him more of as a nickel, but he does create penalties. That's my only concern.
Does he? Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm not really, to be honest with you, these 2 young cats, I'm not really too familiar with them. Um, so I started reading a little bit upon them. So I'm glad you came on, brother, because I'm glad that you were able to share with me and the rest of the viewers and give us a little bit of insight on these 2 guys. I'm assuming that the first guy they got him to be the slot corner to hopefully maybe replace K1 Williams, right?
right. And like I said, I could see a K1 Williams, Buda Baker type. Um, I love the fact that remember what I told you before. I want a DB or a nickel DB that's going to come not only to deliver punishment, but a pit bull that's going to punish someone. And one thing that Fields does, he does do that. He does that more than Womack does.
Really?
That's the one thing I noticed.
Wilma. And so out of the 2 prospects that we got, which one do you think would have the opportunity to impress our defensive coordinator and get more playing time based on their abilities to play?
I think Fields.
Fields?
I think Fields will because he can not only play outside, but he could play nickel too. But I would rely more on the nickel. And
Okay.
I noticed that your boy Grant Cohn was criticizing his height. I wish I could tell him height is nothing if he's got the proper technique.
My
Because I
boy?
play D. I was just being
I
silly
know, I
about
know,
that.
I know.
But I want to want to say, like I said before, and I'll say it again. I was only 5'8" playing against 6'4" DBs. The one thing that got me through was my technique. So height ain't nothing if you can make it a 50-50 ball and have the proper technique.
Yeah, I seen some lengthy big corners that would get burned like crazy. So I mean, height is nice, but it's not always, like you said, it's not necessary. If you have your techniques pretty much down and you're able to really be good with your footwork and see how quick you are at the line of scrimmage, it can do so much for you. So, yeah, height does take advantage at some point, but I think in the slot, specifically in the slot, I don't think height should be a factor if your feet your footwork and your techniques are good. So
Right.
hopefully this kid Fields comes in and uh, does something for us.
But like I said, Sickness, both of them, it is coachable. It can be corrected. And if it can be corrected, I'm going on record right now and saying Lenore's in trouble.
Really?
I'm going that far. I'm gonna go on record and say that. Like I said, those techniques I told you about, they are coachable. They can be corrected.
So you don't think that from last year and this whole off season, then maybe Lenore might have made some changes. You didn't see anything within his playing time that can encourage you that he could be a little bit better.
One thing I had a pet peeve when I was playing DB, and then when I coached my sons as DB. One of the pet peeve I had was never let a receiver run up on you, because once he runs up on you, you're going to get beat. And Lord did that numerous times, and that's basically gave me a heart attack when I was watching those games.
Really?
So as of right now, I'm gonna go on record and say that Lenore's in trouble if he don't get that technique straightened out.
Okay. Okay. So overall, I know you specialize on D backs, and that's something that you really like to focus on. But overall, on the draft picks that the Niners took, typically taking a running back at a time where you thought they could take safety. Apparently, safety is not a problem. I guess Tart's coming back because they really did not address safety at all.
You know what? And I want to get to tart sickness. I've noticed a lot of fans, these John Madden fans, have been really trashing him for dropping that pass against the Rams. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, not you, but I'm telling all of them.
I got you.
Look, it happened. It happens. I know it was a key moment that could have been the we could have went to. I understand that, but people got to understand is that it happened. It happened to me when I had a wide open interception and I dropped it at the key point. You feel bad, but that doesn't mean to get trashed about it. It happens.
No, I
But
I, I
overall,
agree. I agree, hundred
as far as
percent.
the running back from LSU, I like him. I like him. I don't think he's a. I don't believe as of yet he's a home run hitter. I can see him as a two down back.
Do you think that the whole reason why they drafted a bruiser like Davis Price to come in that enforces will? He's a great blocker, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you think they brought him in to kind of let Debo know? Listen, all right, we heard you. We're not going to utilize you that much as a running back. We're going to pay attention more to you as a receiver. Um, do you think that would have been a factor why they brought in a bruiser like that to kind of limit
Oh,
the carries
absolutely.
for Debo?
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. Absolutely. To let people know we're not going to use you like that. We're going to just focus on you being a receiver.
Perfect. And then to that, real quick, I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts and how familiar you are? I know you're a D back, but when you're a D back coach, you got to know some receiver type of players. What are your thoughts on Danny Gray out of SMU? You think that was a good pick by the Niners?
Oh, yeah. I think it was a good pick. And I'm going to put myself as a DB going against, I forgot his name, Gray, Danny Gray.
Yeah, Danny
I'm
Gray.
going
Uh
to
huh.
put, I'm going to put myself in the DB shoes. One thing I'm not going to do is let him beat me. To neutralize that speed, I'm gonna have to get in front, have him keep him in front of me for him to not beat me. I know he likes to do a lot of jukes, which is fine. That's cool. That's what a receiver does. But he has that speed, and in NFL they're gonna find a way to neutralize that speed. So as a DB, I would play more of a modified off coverage instead of playing 9 yards back, come up 5 yards to make him think about it. Because I noticed that some DBs in the NFL do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I started watching. I was kind of familiar with Danny Gray. He was one of the receivers that I liked, but I started to watch more tape on him. And when I tell people tape, it's not the highlights on YouTube. Highlights.
Right.
People shouldn't go by highlights. You should really watch the all 22 and break it down. I started watching tape on Danny Gray, and he's not just a speed guy. He runs routes pretty good, and he's a yak guy. After he can get yards after the catch. So I think he will be a great third receiver behind Debo and Brandon Ayuk. I think that I like Jawan Jennings, but I think Jawan Jennings just got bumped to number 4 on the pecking order as a receiver. And I know a lot of people talked about Ray McLeod coming in, but I think Ray McLeod is going to be used typically for special teams and returner more than a receiver. I think this is why they brought in Danny Gray. I like the addition. He's what, 6'1", 190 pounds, I believe.
Right.
He's a big guy. He's not afraid of contact. Great blocker as well. So I'm excited. I really am. Let me ask you, what are your thoughts of the pass rusher that Niners took at 61, Drake Jackson, out of USC Trojans?
Right. And let me tell you this, Sickness. Anybody on the comment section, please correct me if it was him or not. I remember when I think he was a freshman, I want to say. Freshman or sophomore, I don't recall, when he went up against, USC went up against Fresno State that year. And oh my goodness, did he jump off the screen. He was just manhandling the Fresno State lineman. I mean, this manhandling left and right. I mean, I want to say he got 2-3 quarterback sacks in that game where USC won. They just dominated Fresno State. But that's I remember him. Speed rusher. I think he'll complement Nick Bosa. Um, he does the stunts very well. So I'm very excited for him.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were that I was talking to in a couple of chat rooms. Niner fans are like, he reminds me a lot of what D4 did, and I'm like, I don't know if that's correct. I think if they wanted a D4 prototype, I think they would have drafted Nick Benito. I think he's more of a just stand up and go after the quarterback on 3rd and long. I think Jackson is more of a complete D lineman. They can sit there and he's great against the run. He's going to stuff his side. He's not going to allow anything to go on his side. So those reverses or anything they're trying to do on his side, he's not going to allow it to happen. He's a big boy. So he's more of a complete defensive linebacker than Benito is. So a lot of people are like, oh, he's like D4. And I'm like, no.
Not really, yeah.
One thing he does need to work is his hand skill. He needs to, and I think he can learn that hopefully from Bosa. Bosa can teach him techniques, how to use his hands to kind of so that he don't get stuck on the guards or tackles. Hopefully he learns that. It looks like he's anxious to meet Bosa. So let's see if Bosa's willing to take him a little bit under his wing. But I like him. So with him coming in and us having all these linemen, and then owing Sam Ichabom so much money for 1 year, I think it's like what, 6 point something million. Do you think that his name is on the wall where they might cut him? Do you think he became expendable since we drafted Jackson?
Possibly. I was thinking the same thing. And this is where when we drafted Jackson, one of the things that popped in my mind, hey, I need to ask Sickness about this because I will defer to him to see what he needs to work on, and maybe even Ibukam was maybe expendable, just like you said. Maybe he's on the bubble now.
Yeah, I that was my thought process too, because he started to come on late last year. He wasn't really as advertised. He started to pick it up towards the end, so we'll see how he plans out this offseason. But I think with the addition of Jackson, if Samson can't show anything convincing in camp this year, he might be on the bubble. And but we'll see what happens. But I love what we have. I think that also bringing in and drafting Jackson Moses, I think that's going to I think that told everybody that they like Eric Armstead and they want to keep him in the inside. I don't think they're going to take him on the outside no more. If you notice, when they put him in the inside against the Bears, from that point on, his production started to pick up, his sacks and his pressures from the inside. So I think that the addition of Jackson is just to confirm that Mr. Armstead will stay in the middle, right alongside of Javon Kinlaw.
And one thing too, Sickness. I think it's true. a guy from Fresno State here, Darrell Bland.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Cowboys.
Okay.
I did message him and tell him, man, I'm just, can I know him because he knows my son. I was
Okay.
like, man, you disappoint me, man. You went to my greatest nemesis ever in NFL, and like, he responded with a laughing emoji.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. I know we always wish our friends or people that know our family members the best, regardless where they go. But I hear you, bro. It's like, why the Cowboys? Uh, you know, so-called America's team. I don't know where and why they ever got that so-called nickname, man. But
That's
I
that's
hear you.
blasphemy. That's
If you,
blasphemy.
yeah, if you're a Niner fan from the era that we started watching, brother, in the '80s, if there's a team that people say that we dislike, it's always going to be the Cowboys. I know that the rivalry hasn't been there like it was before, but those memories. Because imagine how many Super Bowls the Niners would have had if it wasn't for the Cowboys being in the way back then.
There's still, to me, as for me speaking for myself, I still have bad blood towards the Cowboy fans.
Now you say Cowboy fans, not necessarily the team. Why is it that
Correct.
why the fans?
They talk too damn much. It's not even that's not even we're like what? Not even in August they're talking about, oh, we're gonna win the Super Bowl every year. I'm so sick of it.
Okay, the arrogance of
Yeah,
them to try to, they can't even get past us in the playoffs, and their quarterback doesn't know how to put the ball or give it to the ref. He thinks he's the ref by giving it to the center, and yet they're going to win the Super Bowl every year, right? What was the last time they
I,
made it? What was the last time the Cowboys were in the NFC Championship, Moses?
other 95.
That's man. You know, I understand Moses that we went to the Super Bowl and we lost. I understand we lost, unfortunately, to the Rams in the NFC Championship. But I want you to weigh in this, Moses. Your thought in the front office. I know a lot of people have questions about what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have done, but we haven't won a Super Bowl. I understand that, but to get a team to two NFC championships and a Super Bowl appearance, you that play football understand that winning games in the NFL is not easy. And to
Exactly.
and to get to the NFC championship twice and a Super Bowl. I know our expectations are high and it's Super Bowl or bust. I understand that. But how much credit should these guys deserve to get a team to go to two NFC championships and a Super Bowl appearance, in your opinion?
I, I don't think they get enough credit. I think they are doing their jobs, and like I agree with the commentators. We're like four plays away from either going to Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. I think they don't get enough credit. I know it's a difficult business. Yeah, definitely. You have to make some hard choices, definitely. But let's just thank God we don't have Trent Baalke.
Yeah, yeah. I feel sorry for and you started to see the whole receiver Pandora box being open with Christian Kirk and Bulky making him the highest or one of the highest paid receivers. Where Chris Kirk out of Arizona was what their number third receiver, and they paid him like a number one, and just kind of opened up that Pandora box. So Bulky, the Jaguars can have him. I feel bad for the Jaguars and their fan base because we went through it with Bulky for years here in San Francisco. I'm glad he's gone. And yes, we made it to an NFC champion. We made it to what I think two NFC championships also with Bulky and a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah,
But
yes.
um, I still like the way John Lynch approaches things and handles his business way better than Bulky ever did.
I mean, John Lynch is a player's general manager. He played the game, and he understands the game. He also understands the locker room and the players. So that's why I stick to my gun and say they don't get that. They don't get enough credit to what they deserve.
Okay, so real quick before I let you go, and I really appreciate you being on here, Moses. Um, with the additions that they came on today, and I understand they're just prospects. They haven't done anything yet. They haven't proved anything on the field. But with the potential, like a Danny Gray, a running back like Davis Price, T.Y. Davis Price, and then pass rusher that we brought in as well on this roster, and then Trey Lance taking the helm. And that's another thing for Niner fans, real quick, that think that just because Jimmy G is still on the roster right now, that he's going to be the starter. You don't bring in a speed guy like Danny Gray, in my opinion, if you're not going to start Trey Lance, because Jimmy is not going to get him the ball anywhere near in that perspective. So that's a reassurance that Trey is the starter, correct?
Correct. Oh yeah, it's time for Trey Lance. I mean, Jimmy G had his chances. I like Jimmy G. I think he's a great guy, great team leader, but I believe he's had his chances. Now let's see what Trey Lance got.
Yeah, I like that. So, real quick, and just to remind you that on Monday, the day after tomorrow, your package will be in the mail, heading your way, brother. I did get your information in the email, so I replied. I don't know if you got my reply.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it'll be on the mail for you. You're in Fresno, so you probably get it somewhere around Wednesday or Thursday.
Roughly.
So take a look for it. But it's a pleasure having you, Moses. Thank you for being on, man. You're always welcome to come on my show. I love your expertise. I love your insight on the D-backs, man. And getting two D-backs that I wasn't really too familiar with. I truly appreciate you being on here and give us a little breakdown about them.
No problem, Sickness. Thank you for welcoming to your show.
Welcome. You have a wonderful day, brother.
You too.
All right. That was Moses, the D-back disciple. Let me say hi to a couple people that just came in. Tanisha's in the house. How you doing, Tanisha? We got Luis Moreno, Edward Brito in the house. How you doing? Welcome to the show. The lines are open. If you want to be part of the show, if you want to share with me your thoughts on any particular draft pick that we took, you're welcome to click on the link in the bottom of the description, follow the instructions. It will bring you to my green room, and I will bring you on to the show. So if you want to say hi, if you want to express the draft picks, you're welcome to be part of the show. So, let's see, Moses is better than Mel Kiper Jr. I agree there, Christian. I agree. Definitely agree. I like the direction that the Niners went. I understand a lot of Niner fans are upset that the Niners took a running back. Now, initially, I was kind of bothered by that as well, especially having two potential safeties that I liked in Joseph and Nick Cross. They're available, and they went in the direction of a running back. That kind of surprised me a little bit at 93, but I do understand that they want to reassure Debo that we're hearing what you're saying. We're going to utilize you less as a running back. Maybe they'll use him more as they did in 2019 with the reverses and stuff like that, than straight up running back. So this kid from LSU, I don't typically agree with the pick at 93. I think they should have went in a different direction, but the pick was made. He is part of the Niners. So I started to watch a little bit of tape on this kid. This kid is a downhill runner. He's big. He's like 6'1", 220 pounds. He's going to roll over linebackers. And if he gets past the linebackers into the second phase of the corners or safeties, he's going to take them out. I like this runner. Don't really care where they took him at, but I do like him being part of the Niners. So I want to get your guys' thought on the running back. Did the Niners make a mistake yet again by taking a running back in the third round? Why do I say yet again? Because if you have forgotten, last year We came back. We moved into the third round, traded with the Rams to do so, and we took Trey Sermon. And then we took Elijah Mitchell in the sixth round. He started balling for us, and we didn't hear that much of Trey Sermon. So, by the addition of Davis Price, does that put Trey Sermon's name on the wall? Is he going to be moved? Is he going to be cut? Or do you guys think that he and Davis is going to be a 1-2 punch by trying to force the ball down the middle and then utilize Elijah Mitchell more on the outside? I want to get your guys' thought on that. We got Tony Smith in the house. What's up, Tony? I am not upset one bit with the Niners' choices. They took what they took today and yesterday. I like that. I like the way you support the organization. Again, I'm okay that the Niners took a running back. I just thought that there was more pressing needs at safety or slot corner at the time that they took the running back. But I also understand that if they are talking, now everything is speculation. We don't know the truth. But if it is true, the things we've been hearing about how Debo doesn't want to be used as a running back, blah, 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 this does reassure him that they're going to use him less as a running back. And if Kyle liked the way Debo was able to just enforce his will, I can see why Kyle decided to take this kid out of LSU. And he's a great pass blocker. He can block very well. So I'm with you, Tony. I would have preferred a safety myself or a slot corner, but it is what it is. Have the Niners drafted Mr. Irrelevant yet? I have not been paying attention. You guys let me know. Is the draft ended already or is it still going? That's true. That is so true. It was built by Scott McCown when he was here. If anything, Balky destroyed it. What's up, Lucky? How you doing, brother? Hey, Beto, what's your thoughts on the draft picks? The Niners pick on today. I like them. Oh, okay. So there are what, 254? Got you. I'm really enamored with Jackson. I like Jackson. I think he's going to be a great complement to Nick Bosa. I like what he brings to the table. He's a pure, he's not a pure, but a complete lineman, in my opinion. He doesn't have to come in just on third downs. He's an every down lineman, in my opinion. So I like that about Jackson. I am definitely very happy with the receiver. I do like Danny Gray out of SMU a lot. I think this kid has a lot to prove. The fact that he went in the third round has a chip on his shoulder. I believe that he wants to prove to the receivers that went ahead of him that other teams made a bad choice. So with the addition of Debo and Brandon Ayuk, you add someone like Gray, a burner, a route runner, but a burner too. So now you have Brandon Ayuk and Gray that can go deep with Trey Lance. And if things are not good deep, then you have Debo in the slot. I like that. I really, really do. a lot of times, even if you don't complete the ball deep and it's an incompletion, at least you keep the defense honest. The problem with Jimmy G, defensive coordinators know that they're not going to go deep. Everything's down the middle. Everything's in the middle. And if they can stop that, they pretty much can neutralize what the Niners wanted to do. Now with Trey going deep, now coordinators have to decide what the Niners are going to do. And I think that's going to be fun to watch this year. Draft still going. Niners have last pick. Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant. You guys let me know what it is. Listen, if you guys want to come on to the show, the link is in the bottom. Click on the link and come and join me for a few minutes. I like Drake Jackson for helping Bosa push the quarterback out of the pocket into another's arm. One another's arm. Well, the fact that they're going to keep Eric Armstead inside next to Javon Kinlaw. And listen, many of you are not fans of Javon Kinlaw. I like Javon Kinlaw. I really like Javon Kinlaw. I think that he was, not that I think, I know he was playing now with a nagging injury. And it was bugging him, it was nagging him, and he had to play through it. And there were times he had good games, and there were times he had bad games. Why? Because that pain was nagging him. Now that he had surgery, he said it himself that he feels like a new man. He feels like he has a whole brand new leg, new knee. He hasn't able to bend and be able to move the way he can do right now. If that is totally true, what he said, I cannot wait to see what he can do next to Eric Armstead. So now you have Nick Bosa, you got Javon Kinlaw, you got Eric Armstead, and you got Drake Jackson at the end. And then in the secondary, if we bring back Tart, which he plays very well next to Jimmy Ward, they complement each other. I know that Tart is not a ball hawk. I know he doesn't get interceptions as much as we would like, but he works well with Jimmy Ward. Now we brought Charvarius Ward as a corner. We got Emmanuel Mosley on the other side. Two good corners. We got Emory Thomas that is only getting better. And then we added two corners today that we can develop going forward. So this team is pretty much set to make a run, especially in the NFC. But it's all up to how Trey Lance performs. If Trey Lance plays decent his first year and doesn't make that many mistakes, man, this team can really be dangerous. We're a complete team. We can go deep. We can go short. We can run the ball. We can do whatever we want now. People are still concerned about the offensive line. While they picked up two tackles today. But one tackle, to me, is more of a guard. I think one of the tackles, I forgot his name, he's going to be used more. It's not Spencer, but the other guard, the other tackle. He's going to be used more as a guard in the NFL. So we got some help on the O-line. We got another receiver that can complement Brandon Ayuk, and Debo. We got a bruiser of a running back. It's gonna be fun to watch. What's up, Jesse Perez? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? He a beast in the run game. Yes, he is. If you watch and one of his best games last year was when LSU played the Florida Gators. They played the Florida Gators. I think he had over 260 yards rushing against the Florida Gators. He had a very good game against them. Drake was listed as an edge and linebacker expert. Say that Drake is similar to Eric Armstead. What's your opinion? Eric Armstead. I don't really see the resemblance to Eric Armstead. Johnny, I'm trying to think of a pass rusher that he can kind of resemble. He's definitely not a D4 prototype, that's for sure. That's Nick Benito. I would have to look at more tape, honestly, to make a correct comparison. Honestly, Johnny, I would have to see more tape of Drake Jackson and look more deep into his qualities and what he does, where he places his hand, his footwork, his hand technique, to kind of get a better assessment of that comparison. But I will get back to you on that question once I get deeper into the tape. I think Gray and Trey to Gray, Lance will be a good matchup. Now, Brandon Ayuk is pretty fast, but don't get it twisted. He's not faster than Gray. Gray ran a 4.33. That's pretty damn fast. And I'm telling you, with that speed and the arm of Trey Lance, they're going to keep defense honest. They're going to keep a defense honest, and they have an opportunity to blow the top off a defense. You didn't get that with Jimmy. And if you notice when Trey played the little bit that he did, he's not looking for the checkdowns. See, Jimmy, right away he wants a check down. If you have a receiver open, he doesn't look that far. He looks for the check down. How many times were receivers available open and he went for the check down? Trey didn't do that and against Houston. I forgot who. I think it was Kittle at the check down, but Ayuk was open. And he decided to throw it to Ayuk for a first down. I like that about Trey. And with the addition of Gray, that's going to really, really help out this offense. Like it says, Drake an A, Price a B+, Gray an A, Burford a B+, Womack a B, Zach Z, I can't pronounce it, an A. Davis a C, and Fields a C+. That's not bad. That's definitely a passing grade in my book. Now we got to wait to see who Mr. Irrelevant is. Who will Mr. Irrelevant? And if the Niners this year did not trade at all, they stayed put, and they took players at their original spot. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have been known to move up and down, And this year, unless they trade that last pick, which they can only trade for next year or move up a few spots, which I doubt it. They will go this year will go into the books of no trades by John Lynch. I hope not. Let's see here. Do you think that the draft of Tryon Davis could push Trey Sermon to our running back 3 or be cut? I don't know about cutting him. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Trey Sermon. He's a great running back in Ohio. He's been showing some tape this offseason of his footwork. Trey Sermon has been working hard within his footwork. Now, if Trey Sermon does indeed come into this offseason much better and more improved than he was last year, with T.Y. Davis Price and Elijah Mitchell, you got 3 very good backs. I haven't forgotten about Jeff Wilson Jr., but if anything, that makes him expendable. And for sure, I don't see Hasty. I don't like Hasty. I don't know about you guys. If you guys are a Hasty fan, then that's more power to you. I'm not a big Hasty fan, so if they cut him or put him in the practice squad or whatever, I'm okay with it. The fact that if we have, I think Elijah is going to be QB1, RB1, and then the battle between Price and Sermon for RB2, and then Wilson will be RB3 or 4 actually. Do they keep 4 running backs? That's interesting. That is interesting. Someone from the Niners is going to have a parade for being Mr. Irrelevant. Really, huh? What was the last time the Niners had a Mr. Irrelevant? Do you guys remember? They ain't cutting Sermon. I got you, brother. I got you. I hear you. 260 right now. All right, we have two more picks. Let's go. Ken Dorsey. Why does that name sound familiar? Wasn't he that quarterback from the Hurricanes? And I think he played for the Niners a little bit. All right, David, jump in here, brother. Exactly, Beto. Last training camp, preseason, Eli Mitchell outplayed Sermon. Hence, why he was RB2 behind Mostert. I agree. But if Trey Sermon, he's been showing that he's been doing a lot of work on his footwork. If he comes into camp ready to go, and T.Y. Davis Price, a bruiser. I like this kid. He's a bruiser down the middle. He's not afraid of contact. He's going to run you over. And he's going to steam right through you. Right through you. So, I got our guest, David. I'm going to bring in David real quick. Give me 1 second. There he is. David, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for joining the the podcast today. So, what are your thoughts on the draft so far?
Well, so far, I actually think we've done pretty good. I mean, the running back pick was kind of questionable, but at the same time, we have Mitchell and Sermon under contract for the next couple years, so it kind of makes sense to keep a young one in the mix. But and the fact that our running backs get beat up too. I mean, it does only make sense to have more of them.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's sending a message also. If indeed this whole Debo situation is true, where he doesn't want to play a running back that much, he wants to be utilized more as a receiver. He doesn't mind to be used like he did in 2019, but not like he was used in 2021. Do you think that was a factor why the Niners decided to go with a bruiser like Davis Price to get the same production that Debo was given and not necessarily use Debo that way anymore?
It's a great possibility. I mean, either way, we were going to take a running back. I was just surprised that he was taking that early.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was looking at corners and safeties, right? I'm like, or maybe offensive linemen, and it's like, I looked up and I seen the ticker and it says running back, and I had to look twice. Running back, what? And I looked at it and I'm like, sure enough, yep, it's running back. And I'm like, ooh. I started hearing all these Niner fans, and imagine all these Niner fans starting to get pissed off about that pick.
Well, there were a lot of safeties still on the board at that point.
Yeah.
So
Nick Cross, Joseph was there.
Yep.
So yeah, and you know what? I don't know what they're going to do in the next the next pick they make, Mr. Irrelevant, but they did not take a safety. Meaning, do they have a contingency plan to bring back Mr. Tart?
Well, if you look at the market, there's actually all kinds of safeties on the market. It doesn't have to be Tart. There's some solid veterans on the market, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Tart back. But I would rather one of the other guys that doesn't have, that doesn't have injury history. Now, someone we can rely on to be out there.
Now, the Honey Badger is a good safety, but do you think that his price can fit into what the Niners are doing right now?
I don't think he'd be. I don't know how expensive he would be. I mean, right now, no one's signed him,
but that's the reason why nobody signed him, because he wants too much money.
Yeah, that's true.
For his age, he's great safety, but he's not the safety of old. I forgot what he's asking for, David, but he's asking for quite a bit, because for him not to be on the team right now, it's kind of sketchy. Like, man, what are you asking that you haven't been picked up by teams out there? And so that's a question mark. Who else is out there that you can remember or think of that is available in free agency that the Niners can bring in?
Edmonds. I know Edmonds. I was looking and that there's quite a list, but I don't know. I don't know who would be a good fit too. Tart's also out there. But, yeah, I mean, Tart would probably be the cheapest one to bring back.
Well, yeah, not only the cheapest, but he's familiar with the defense. And he's not a ball hawk, but he does work very well with Jimmy Ward. And like Moses said earlier today, the whole incident about him not catching that interception, that who knows if we would have won that game or not. It was so much time on the clock still. But nevertheless, he dropped that ball. People, I mean, I don't care who you are, Deion Sanders or Tart, there are going to be games like that, bro. There's going to be games that ball. I can imagine all the people around you, and that ball's coming directly to you, how everything just went into slow motion. And he probably tried to, sometimes when you try to do too much, you don't do enough. And maybe he had it like, okay, a pick six or I'm going to intercept it, and he just dropped it because it went right through his arms. But Tart is not a bad safety. He's not a great safety, but he's not bad. But you're right. The problem with him is he gets hurt. I don't think we have gotten a complete season out of Tart. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's always missed a few games here and there since he's been with us, correct?
Yeah, he's from the Trent Baalke era. But yeah, he's always missed time every season. So
yeah, see, that's an issue. They say the best ability is availability. You can't.
Yep.
I don't care how good you are. You can be Jerry Rice good, but if you're on the bench, you're not being effective. So I'd rather have a mediocre player that is always on the field than someone that's really good but hurt a lot. So Johnny said the pick is in. Have they announced?
Oh yeah, I'm watching my screen waiting.
Okay, because I'm not watching it. So let me know, David, please, who it is, and we can talk a little bit about it. What position do you think the Niners should take with Mr. Irrelevant? I mean, it is the seventh round, but
I think Donovan West center would be a fantastic selection
he's still on the board.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was watching him drop. It's like I don't know what teams know, but
there's something. Yeah, that's wow. He might, if he doesn't get picked by us, then he's going to go undrafted. Wow.
And then he'll actually make more money because there'll be a bidding war for his free agent services.
Well, at least he'll get, and one thing for sure, he'll get to choose where he wants to go. So that's a plus too. I tell people all the time, a lot of times when you go in the first 4 rounds or 5th or 5 rounds, it's pretty cool to be drafted and hear your name called out. But when you're going towards the end,
oh my goodness,
who do we take?
Brock Purdy, quarterback, Iowa State.
We took a quarterback, huh?
Yeah.
That means Jimmy.
I've actually took this guy in my mock drafts a few times at the last pick. But
that means Jimmy is not going to be on this roster in the beginning of the season, bro. They're either going to trade him or cut him. Yep. That the writing's on the wall, bro. People that, for you 49er fans that think that Jimmy's a possibility, the only reason why Jimmy's still here is because if they cut him today, they owe him like 7-point-something million for the injury settlement. Why would they want to pay that? They're going to wait for him to clear physical and then cut him if they can't get rid of him, right?
Yep. Well, I'm watching the highlights, and this guy's scrambling around the field so he can run better than Jimmy, and looks to me like his throwing is at least equal, if not a little better.
So he has more mobility. So, and that's a good thing because if you think about it, David, you're transitioning to a mobile quarterback like Trey. Your offense is going to be used to more of a mobile quarterback. The problem that I saw last year is remember when he came in against Arizona, all the penalties that the offense was committing because they were not used to a mobile quarterback. They were using to a pocket passer like Jimmy. So the fact that they drafted Brock Purdy out of Iowa and he's a little bit more mobile, God forbid Trey gets hurt for whatever and he has to come in for a game or two, the offense doesn't have to adjust too much because of his mobility. Now I've mocked him to in my mock draft. I like the kid out of Kansas State a little bit more, but I still thought that the Niners were going to take a quarterback with their last pick, and sure enough, they did. They're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks, bro. So they either really don't like the kid from the Eagles they brought in, or if this doesn't tell Jimmy that he's gone, I don't know what does. Because remember, this kid is not coming to start. He's not coming to start. He's coming to be a backup to Trey.
Oh, and on top of that, we only carry 2 quarterbacks on the 53. So, I mean, there's no way there's no way Jimmy's going to be on the team to start the season.
Yeah, not at 25 million, bro.
No,
Not
there's
at
no
20.
way.
Not at 25 million. I know a lot of Niner fans get really like, I can't see the Niners paying him 25 million. Listen, again, they're not cutting him because why would you want to give him 7 million and cut him today? Where if you cut him once he clears physical, it's going to cost you nothing, and you're still going to lose the same amount. Because I think it's only 2 million is going to be against the cap.
I think it's down to 1.6 past March 16th is what I read.
So if you do it today, you do it after he clears physical, is the same. So what's the rush? And I think that's what they told Debo. Debo, hang in there, man. Look at we took what do you call it, running back to take away your carries. Hang in there. Once we get rid of Jimmy, we'll take care of you.
Yep.
And I think that's what's going to happen.
That. All right.
What does it says? Does that mean that Nate Suffield and Jimmy are gone? No, because they carry 3 quarterbacks, but they always have 2 dressed up, if I'm not mistaken. But they like to have 3. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Another thing, I mean, the quarterbacks we play against, Kyler Murray. We don't have to go. Well, we do play Russell Wilson once this next season. But this guy's going to be good. This guy's going to be good on the scout team for helping us get ready for that.
I like that, David. I really do. That's a very, very good point you made there. He'll be a great scout player to kind of, especially when we play Murray. I forgot what the schedule is. But so let me ask you, David, out of all the picks, now that we know all picks from 1 to 9, the Niners did not move up or down, which is kind of not really accustomed to seeing that. I'm always expecting them to move up and down. Which player do you like the best out of all of them, and for you?
I think the first pick in the draft, the edge we got. Okay. I mean, we need a guy opposite of Nick Bosa, and we all know D Ford's not going to be suiting up again. He's due to his back, he's probably done playing football. But I mean, this guy, all his problems are coachable, and we have one of the best defensive line coaches in the league.
Yep.
So I mean, I expect him, maybe to start out just situational pass rushing. But as the season goes, I expect his snaps to go up, and we'll see what he's made of.
Do you think by bringing in, I mentioned this with Moses earlier, do you think by bringing in Drake Jackson in, that Sampson became expendable and they may cut him if he doesn't show anything in the offseason based on what they own for this season?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying we're over the cap, but that was last year's cap, not this season's cap.
No, correct. And this is not a cap issue. This is just why pay someone like Sampson if you can get the same production out of Jackson on a rookie deal. So this is just strictly saving money. Or do you think the Niners are like, we're not worried about saving money. We just want to be able to rotate good defenders and keep them fresh?
That's exactly it. The better the depth we have, the more the starters are going to be rested. I honestly think Ebukam will stay on the team.
Okay.
Those other guys we signed, like Jordan Willis and was it Torrey? What was that guy's name? Torrey from the Colts. Those guys are probably on the bubble at this point.
Yeah. If anything,
I mean, I think we have 9 edges on the roster right now.
No, we have 12.
Dang.
Yeah. We had 11 prior to Jake. And we got 12 with Jake. So we are stacked.
I mean, Charles Omehu and Jordan Willis will stay on the squad just because, they play the run good. They're good for running downs.
I like
Um,
Charles O'Mehigo. I think he's going to be great. He has to
I
develop
think
more, but
you,
he's going to be good.
yep. I think obviously Bosa can play running or passing. Ebukam, he's probably gonna be start just a situational pass rusher.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the guys all come up and it's just kind of a lot of question marks, but good depth, but a lot of question marks.
Yeah. Well, one thing I like
So
about
this
Jackson
guy will
too
probably be.
is he's
Yep.
a complete lineman like Bosa. He can play the run well and he can rush the passer. So he's not your, people are comparing him to D Ford, but D Ford to me, if you wanted a D Ford type of pass rusher, I think they would have drafted Nick Benito, which to me is more of a third down, pin your ears back, go after the quarterback. I think Jackson is more of a complete all three downs lineman. They can stop the run, and but it definitely confirms that Eric Armstead isn't moving from the inside no more. I think they found out that he's really good in the inside, and I think that's where they're going to keep him. Right?
Yep. That's actually something that draft pick says too. Is Eric Armstead's going to be playing the 3 technique,
Yeah, they're going to keep
and
him
then
there.
Javon Kinlaw is going to be our starting nose tackle. That actually ought to be pretty interesting.
I like I like that you mentioned that because when they drafted Javon Kinlaw, they drafted him specifically for the 3 technique spot, not nose tackle. And but now that Eric Armstead plays the titulating very well, and Javon Kinlaw is a big boy, they can utilize him more as that nose tackle. So you're right. It would be interesting to see how he does that. But if he can get that done right, man, imagine the abilities of having Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead, and now Jake Jackson at the end going after the rusher, man. And Bosa, listen, I don't know what your thought process of this, David, but I think that if Jackson gets a lot of sacks this year, it's going to be because Bosa is going to be pushing that quarterback towards him because they're going to be running away from Bosa because he does bring a lot of pressures. Do you think he'll benefit from Bosa being as good as he is?
Oh yes, I think a whole D line benefits from Bosa being as good as he is.
So our prayer is that Bosa needs to stay healthy, right? Because
Yes,
if he gets
yes.
hurt, everything goes to poop.
Well, last year he was coming back off the ACL, so they kind of had him on
Yeah.
a snap count.
In the
This
beginning,
next year, there's no worries about that. So he's he's gonna be playing until he feels he needs a break.
yeah.
But honestly, I think they should keep him on a snap count just to
Yep.
keep him fresh.
I agree. I really agree that. And listen, he had double-digit sacks, and he was coming off an injury. Now that he's coming to form, and to be honest, he this is a contract year for him since they picked up the 5th-year option. He's going to want to work that contract. So the better he plays in 2022, the more money the Niners are going to be entitled to pay him. You think he can reach somewhere in the vicinity of 138 to maybe 140?
His contract? I think we're probably looking at 150, maybe 160.
Wow. Yeah, because his brother got what, 135?
Yeah, I believe so.
And he's the highest paid right now, pass rusher. Still.
Yep.
If Bosa balls out, yeah, 150, that's scary.
Well, how happy are you about Debo not getting traded? I was ecstatic.
You know what? Listen, to me, the people are like, we didn't draft in the first round. I go, yes, we did. People argue, and they're like, no, we did. I go, yes, we did. Let me explain. We took a quarterback and we took a receiver. Trey Lance, we got him from last year for this year, number 1. And that's what we traded for. Mm-hmm. And we kept Debo, right? We didn't trade him. So we got that receiver that we like. The fact that like A.J. Brown got traded and you saw what the Eagles gave the Texans, which is the 18 and the 101 is nothing for A.J. Brown. And you saw all these fans crying for the loss of A.J. Brown, and rightfully so. I am with you. The fact that we kept Debo, a player that I understand can get hurt. I understand that he might not play for a very long time, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that I don't care who you bring in, it's hard to replicate what he's done already in the NFL. And he's only going to get better. And when you have a player like that, it's really hard to get rid of. And I think if somebody would have offered like 3 number ones, John might have made a decision. But yeah, they were not going to take anything that's kind of that wasn't out of this world for Debo. Debo is a one generational player as a receiver, man, and we have him. Every team out there wants to get what? They want to get their Debo, right? We have the original prototype. Why we want to get rid of him? So yes, I am ecstatic. I think he deserves the money. I think they're going to pay him. The record that the Niners have shown, nobody has ever held out since the Shanahan, Kyle, and John has been here. So I think once, like John said, once this draft is over, which it is now, they're going to move into the phase of negotiating with him, and I think they're going to take care of it. And I think signing this running back they did yesterday is going to show Debo, okay, now that we're going to go into negotiation, look who we brought in. I think Debo's going to be like, all right, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable in signing an extension with you guys. What are your thoughts?
I honestly think that he wasn't going anywhere to start with.
Okay.
It was just, a whole bunch of smoke from the media, possibly caused by his agent to try to, pressure the 49ers to pay him right now. And I honestly think that that's the case. But, it's just one of those, where did all this come from? But, yeah, a lot of it was just the media making things up. And
just blowing everything out of proportion, huh?
Oh, yes. They have bad habits of doing that.
So the whole thing that he didn't like the Niners and he wanted to leave, that you think all that's just a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with Debo? Debo was not even upset at the Niners or nothing?
No, well, if you look at what Debo's done, he's trolling the media and the fans that have been, freaking out at the same time. So I really don't think it was anything to start with. And I mean, Debo was at the draft, and it's like, well, why would he show up, and be wearing a red hat and still looking like a 49er if he didn't want to be a 49er?
Well, did you see the shirt that he was wearing at the draft? I saw that picture. And it wasn't Photoshop. It was of himself as a player with a Niners uniform, and it said Debo Samuel is back.
Yep.
So
yeah, I honestly think he's trolling the media with that one because he was never gone to start with.
Yeah, and imagine you're the player, you're hearing all these narratives, right, about you that are not true. You're hearing this, you're hearing that, and it at some point it has to get to you, man. You're sitting there, and you're like, you're hearing people say, putting words in your mouth that are not coming out. And at some point, you got to let that frustration out, because he wrote a couple of comments that he erased, but he expressed how he felt about what people were doing. And when I say people, I'm talking about the media. That bothered him, because in reality, Niner fans were starting to hate Debo for something that Debo doesn't truly deserve to be hated for, correct?
Yep.
And Debo's like, wait a minute, why are you hating me? And I'm not doing nothing. It's the media that is making me look like a villain, which I'm not. So this is why I tell Niner fans, listen, hold your judgment. Wait until all the chips fall and look at the whole picture. Don't assume. When you assume, what do? Make yourself look like a fool, right? So don't assume.
Exactly.
Don't assume. Wait until things clear up, and then see where the chips fall. Because people start speculating this. People start hating D. Was like, I remember one time we were at a church and the pastor said, this is how much people gossip. I'm going to say one word to this person and I'm going to have that person say it to the next person. And by the time he gets in from this side of the building to this side of the building, it's going to be completely different. And it was. You know what I mean? And this is something that we were watching and paying attention to. So my point being is people begin to add to the story, right? You say something, somebody says something more, they add more to that. By the time it gets out, it has a life of its own. And kiddos, and Devo's probably sitting at home like, where did this come from? So you feel that Devo honestly has no issue with the Niners. He's happy to be here. He doesn't want to go home with his mama and live in Carolina, right?
Well, after he retires, there's plenty of time for him to do that.
I love that.
So,
and if he's going to want to retire nice, he needs to make that money, right? So
that's right.
What do you think he's going to get, honestly? Where do you think the Niners and him are going to probably wind up signing him for, in your opinion?
I think it's going to be 25 to 27 million a season range.
Wow.
Yep.
And what do you think the guarantees are going to be? Somewhere around 60?
Somewhere around 65, 70 million.
Oh, man. I love Debo, but that's...
Yeah, well, we have Trent Baalke to thank for driving up the receiver market.
Yeah,
for
opening up the
signing
Pandora box.
Christian
yes.
Kirk to that absurd contract.
Yeah, Baalke. Freaking Baalke. So far, Tay Martin, receiver. Jason Poe did not get drafted. I like him.
Donovan West didn't get drafted either.
Wow.
I mean,
we're going to see who, in the next couple of days, you're going to start hearing a bunch of undrafted free agents getting picked up.
Raggy, does that mean we signed them as undrafted free agents? Is that what you're saying?
No. Really?
Oh, yes.
Thank you, 49er Minded. Bashar, what's up, Bashar? Welcome to the stream. Oh, man. I'm sorry, but I gotta blow that horn. I like Jason Polk came on. I don't know if you guys watched that podcast, Niner Talk, Real Talk. If I screw it up, I apologize, guys. But I like to watch that podcast, and he came on there as a guest. And great guy, down to earth, man. He was one that I always drafted in my mock drafts. I love it. Yes, Colt says Poe is a Niner. I love it. That right there made my day. And not that I'm not happy with the draft picks that we got, but the fact that we were able to get Poe undrafted is awesome.
Well, so what about Danny Gray? You're not happy with that, the 4-3 slot receiver?
Oh, I'm in love with Danny Gray.
Okay.
This kid,
oh my.
Not only because of his speed, his route running is good. He's good at coming back to the ball. There's a proper word for that. I can't think of it, but he comes back to the ball if it's underthrown, and he's a yak guy, just like Ayuk and Debo, and that just shows that Trey is the starting quarterback, because there's no way, in my opinion, you draft a kid with a 4-3-3 like Gray if you're going to keep Jimmy under center. Right?
This is true.
So what is Jimmy going to do? But with the arm that Trey has, you're going to start keeping defenses honest. And that you're going to keep, when they stack the box, you're going to make them pay by throwing a deep pass. And this is going to allow Elijah Mitchell, Davis Poe. I mean, excuse me, Davis Poe. I'm stuck with Jason Poe right now. Davis Price and Wilson to do their thing, because if they put 8 in the box, we can definitely have Gray go long and keep that defense honest. So I like it, man. I really, really like it. What did Roberto say? He said, we also signed linebacker Shagan, I can't pronounce that last name, from San Diego State. Are you familiar with this linebacker? I didn't.
He was on the list of names that the Niners had work out at their local area at I believe Santa Clara. They had a bunch of college players come over, and he was on that list.
He was one of the 30
Yep.
visits they had. Okay. Wow. So the Niners are, man. I like Gray. So what are your thoughts on Gray, personally?
I think he was underutilized. I mean, their offense was all about running the ball, and they didn't throw it very much. So, I mean, that shows that he can block.
Yes.
But, I mean, just the 4.3 speed, the fact that we have someone that can stretch the field is going to open things up in the mid-range for Debo and Ayu. Yeah. So,
I like
it was a good pickup. It was a good pickup.
Yeah. I like the way you called Debo. I like the way you say it. How do you say Debo?
Debo?
Debo, yeah. I like that. I like the way you, honestly, I like the way you say it. It sounds better than Debo. Debo probably doesn't like it, but Debo, what's up? It says linebacker Jeremiah, North Carolina just joined our list of undrafted. Ooh, another linebacker. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you think they bring in another running back on free agent?
That they more than likely will bring in one or two, but just to compete with like Hasty, and I don't see Jeff Wilson Jr. not making the roster. I mean, he's last year maybe he wasn't 100%, and that's why he didn't get used much. But I mean, this upcoming season, I expect to see him out there as the third down running back. But we'll see.
Now, I don't know if I asked you this earlier. Correct me if I did. With the addition of Ty coming in as a running back, do you think that makes Trey Sermon expendable, or do you think they're going to keep him and try to keep those two big backs bruisers?
Trey Sermon, no, I don't think he's expendable because how often we run the ball. There's always an injured running back here and there.
Fair enough.
And so having Mitchell, Sermon, the rookie, Jeff Wilson and JaMychal Hasty on the roster is just plain going to come in handy. So
yeah, the Shanahans definitely, all the way back from Mike Shanahan, they definitely love to run the rock, man. There's no position that he gets used the most other than quarterback. It's the running game. I never heard of any of the Shanahan's teams ever having a number one so-called starting running back like McCaffrey. That's why a lot of Niner fans were like, oh man, we should trade for McCaffrey. I never saw McCaffrey coming to the Niners. I will never see someone like Elliott. The Niners don't need running backs like that. They just need running backs they can run. And in the scheme that the Niners scheme up, they move the ball. So that's why when you heard about, I don't know if you did hear it, but if you heard McCaffrey coming to the Niners, that you think that would be a good idea?
I'm not sure.
The fact that you paused, I think you like McCaffrey a little bit.
Christian McCaffrey? Well, I mean, he, last season he was hurt for what, half the season, I think?
Yeah, pretty much.
But that happens, but him on the squad, I mean, yeah, that would definitely help Trey Lance, that's for sure. He can catch balls out of the field. He's a really good running back, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of like Eli Mitchell myself,
Yeah, me too.
so
Yeah,
I really like the kid.
last year when he came out of Louisiana and we drafted Trey, we moved up to get Trey. I like Trey out of Ohio, but when we took, because I was familiar with Elijah Mitchell playing, when we took him, I was ecstatic, and I told a friend of mine that he was going to be better than Sermon. Now I understand that Sermon was hurt a little bit, but he's like, no way a 6th round starts over a 3rd round running back. I said, yeah, it'll happen, and it sure did. Now, neither running back should have started, period, because if you know something about Kyle Shanahan, he doesn't like to start rookies, right? Unless
Exactly.
out of necessity. So
That's right.
out of
He
necessity.
doesn't like starting rookies at all. I mean, if on the defensive line, that's different.
Yeah.
But I mean, any other position on the roster, if you're a rookie, your chances are you're going to be a backup your rookie season.
That's why people that are concerned about Aaron Banks not being good because he was a 2nd round pick and he didn't get to play. Again, people read into things that are not there. Don't read into things that are not there. Just because he didn't start doesn't mean that he's not good. They wouldn't have taken him that high if he wasn't good. And I believe that the whole reason why they took him because they knew that the situation of losing Tomlinson the way we did was a possibility. And he was going to replace him at left guard. So they tried him at right guard, but it didn't work out. And you're not going to beat out Brunskill. Not as a rookie, at least. Especially at a position that you haven't really played. So you're right. He doesn't like to start rookies unless he has to. I honestly believe that if Moser would have never got hurt, we would have never seen Elijah Mitchell hit the field.
Well, maybe to spell Mostert, but that's about it.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Then I mean, North Carolina, another linebacker. I'm just reading the chat to see who's getting signed by our Niners here.
Yeah, Jeremiah was another. So 2 linebackers and a guard so far.
Well, Jason Poe didn't I think he played some center too, but I mean I could be wrong. He could be a center and a guard.
Yeah. I know that the kid that they drafted, the lineman, what's his name, Nick Azusi, whatever his last name is. Even though he's a tackle, he's gonna be a guard in the NFL. I don't see him being a tackle. I know they're going to move him to guard, so if they do move Poe to center, and I don't think that, honestly, the way they went in this draft, I don't think that Alex Mack is retiring. I think he's back for one more year. Because I think they would have addressed it much better if he told the Niners that he was leaving.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he might have told them, "I'm leaning towards not retiring, playing another season." But I mean, if he would have told them, "Yeah, I'm gonna hang it up," we definitely would have drafted a center earlier.
Yeah, I would think so, right? I think that he would have given the courtesy, kind of like what Joe Staley did in 2020 when he says, like, I'm gonna retire. So they went ahead and got Trent Williams. I think that Alex Mack, even though he's only been with us for a year, he's known Kyle Shanahan for like forever. I think Kyle Shanahan, they might have drafted him in Atlanta. So out of mutual respect, I don't think that Mack will leave him hanging. I'm pretty sure they knew the direction that Mack was going towards. And this is why they did not address center, a pure center, in my opinion, because they knew that Mack is coming back at least for one more year. So
I was honestly expecting him to take that kid from Boston College, Alec Lindstrom.
Lindstrom, he's undrafted, or did he get drafted?
I never saw his name get called.
Yeah, he's definitely a project. He's definitely a project. So if Alex Mack does indeed come for 1 year, that will be the time to take Lindstrom and put him underneath him and let him teach him the in and outs of playing professional football in the NFL, and then once Mac retires next year, Lindstrom can take over. So that's a possibility. We're either him or West. But now that they're undrafted free agent, is really where they want to go and play.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, so it's not like you can choose them anymore. So we'll see. But everybody loves the Niner organization, man. That's one thing I love about Kyle and John, David, that they take care of their players so well, and that gets out to other players. And other players like, you know what, they take care of their players. We want to go and play for that organization because we know we'll be taken care of there. And that's a great reputation to have. Because if you remember a few years back, a little bit back with Bulky, even before Bulky, nobody wanted to play for the Niners. Nobody wanted to come. This organization was bad. And we finally turned it around. And so we'll see. But anyway, I'm
actually trying to look at news to see if there's any other rookie free agents we signed, but I can't find anything saying that right now.
Yeah, it'll probably pop up a little bit later.
Let's
see here. Yeah, it'll probably pop up later. But I'm gonna jump off of here, brother. Thank you for joining me. I always a pleasure having you on here, brother. Much love and respect to you. Thank you for keeping me company and the rest of us here. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, brother. And everybody that's watching right now, thank you for helping out and participating and just hanging out with Niners Sickness and David here. And let's see what else the Niners do, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me. You have a good night.
You take care, brother. All right. That was David McNew. All right, guys. Always a pleasure to have fun with you guys. Always enjoy spending time with you guys. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, blessed night. God bless you and your family. Be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,